Welcome guys on E11 Forex Trading. My name is Elijah. We are here to share our thought process on different Forex pairs that we'll be taking a look at this coming weeks. So we'll be taking a look at Gbpusd. We'll also take a look at Gbpjpy and Eurusd. And then lastly, we'll be taking a look at gold. So we'll be updating on our previous analysis that we have, been analyzing previous week. So how they've been playing out, how this our thought process were previous week, and give an update this week what we're anticipating that price will be doing in those pairs. So remember guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing my thought process. All this is for educational purposes. So whatever it is that you do, this is just for educational purposes. So let's get into it guys. So yes guys, we are taking a look at Gbpusd. So we'll be taking a look at Gbpusd from a monthly time frame and also begin to update you on what has been transpiring from last week, our thought process from last week, and what we are still anticipating that price will be doing on Gbpusd. So our first analysis, it will be on Gbpusd. So on a monthly time frame here, let's zoom out a little bit. So on a monthly time frame, we began to say, show you our thought process on this Gbpusd on monthly time frame. We began to show you, our analysis last week. We showed last week that, Gbpusd on this trend line, there's a first touch there, there's a second touch there. We're anticipating a third touch around this area, and we began to show you how price has been moving to the upside. It has not broken this trend line to the upside, but look at how price is forming to the upside, going to that third touch there. We anticipate that price on a monthly time frame, there will be a third touch there, then price drop to the downside. So that's what we've analyzed last week from a monthly time frame. Yes, price can decide to break and fake out and then begin to come back in, or if price break out of there and continue to the upside, we're anticipating that price will be moving to the upside if this level around 1.43550 it is broken. Then that's where we'll say, okay, maybe there might be change in direction. But if price is not broken this level at 1.43550, we anticipate that price will still go to the downside from a monthly time frame, but we're still anticipating a third touch around this area and price drop. So as you can see around this area, so from a monthly perspective, Gbpusd, we're anticipating that it will drop to the downside and come and touch this level there, and come and touch this level around this area of 1.13392. So let's go to the weekly time frame. On a weekly time frame here, as you can see, price is also, let me clear the previous, whatever we've been using previously. So this was last week analysis. So that's what we've been, analyzing last week. So we'll just be updating and showing you what is basically happening this week, in our analysis. So I'll just leave only this one there. So if you can see on a weekly time frame, we have our first touch there, our second touch there, our third touch there, and we explained last week that the previous week we're expecting a third touch and a drop to the downside. So as you can see, the previous weekly candle, it dropped to the downside. So that's what we anticipate, and we said that we expect price to come to this area, go back to those areas, then shoot to the downside. As on a monthly time frame, we expect a big third touch around this area and a drop, but price can decide to break to the upside and come and touch this level there at 1.43550. But our first thought process is a third touch there, then we drop to the downside. So that is our thought process on a weekly. Let's go to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame also, as you can see, that we said we expect price around this area on a daily time frame. We said we expect price around this area, as we have drawn, we said we expect price around this area on a daily time frame to continue like that to this level, and then from this level we expect price at least to come to these areas there, and then play around there and then break to the downside. if price doesn't break to the upside. So that's our thought process. Price may come there and then go back there, play around there, and then drop to the downside. So that's our thought process on a daily time frame on this pair. So let's just clear this out as we are moving to our 4-hour time frame. So as we go to the 4-hour time frame, remember last week here on a 4-hour time frame, price was within this channel, and I explained to you how we wanted to see price to drop from that level to the downside, and price is down as we anticipated. The price from this level, it will drop to the downside, and that's approximately, let's check how many pips from there. That's approximately 150 pips drop to the downside. So we capitalized on Monday, we capitalized on this wonderful move to the downside. So whatever, we anticipated a drop from that area to the downside. So that's what has happened to the downside. That's what has happened to the downside. So we are anticipating also, so that's what we have said to you, that from there, price will drop to the downside. So that was our thought process on last week. So an update also on what we are still anticipating. We still anticipate that price will still drop to the downside. So that's our overall bias move on this pair. We still anticipate that Gbpusd will break to the downside, but at this moment there's something that is forming around this area. There's something that is forming. There's a channel that is forming here on a 4-hour time frame. So there's a channel that is forming here on a 4-hour time frame. There's a pattern, that is forming from a 4-hour time frame. So this, is a bullish wedge pattern that is forming around this area, but our biasness is still to the downside. Our biasness on this pair is still to the downside. Price may decide to go test this area and then break to this level, then drop to the downside. Price may decide on Monday, to come to this level and then maybe touch there again and then drop, to the downside and then move to this area just like that till our target around this area. That is our first thought process on this pair. Or price may decide to shoot straight from there to the upside, forming higher highs, higher lows to this level, and then to the monthly, expectation where we expect a third touch. Then from there, if price doesn't break, we expect price to shoot to the downside. So this is our, second thought process. But our first thought process is that price might decide on Monday to go there, then shoot to the downside, or price, may from there begin to break and then be shooting to the downside. So this year, this is our first thought process. This is how we're expecting price from Monday throughout, to be playing out. And then this up there, it is our second thought process on this pair. So this is our second thought process on Gbpusd. We expect that Gbpusd may be dropping up until this level here, up until the level at 1.33063. 1.33063. It is our target. This is our target, on Gbpusd. But our first targets may be around this area at 1.34415. That will be our first target. Then our second target, it will be at 1.33063. So that's our thought process on Gbpusd, throughout this coming week, and we'll keep updating what is then transpiring. So our thought process is still to the downside on Gbpusd. Our first biasness is still to the downside on Gbpusd. So let's take a look at Gbpjpy. So Gbpjpy, on Gbpjpy also last week, price was around this area, was between this channel, and I explained to you how we expect price to be dropping, price to be pushing a little bit to the upside, then drop, to the downside. So we expect that price will be dropping, but price was somewhere around this area, last week price was somewhere around this area, and we said we expect a little bit that price may go to the upside. So let's go to the monthly time frame. We said on Gbpjpy also on a monthly time frame. Let's go to the monthly time frame. So we said we have a first touch there, second touch there. We anticipate a third touch on a monthly time frame. We expected that price may decide to go a little bit up or break and then come to the first touch there. But in the meantime, we said we'll focus on all, on these areas here. We said there's a first touch around this area, there's a second touch around this area, and then there's our third touch also around this area. At the moment, we'll only be focusing on short term, a bearish movement, on this pair, on a bearish movement, the price to be going to the downside before our monthly target at this area. But price may decide to do whatever it wants and then push to the upside. So let's go to the weekly time frame. So let's go to the weekly time frame. So let's clear these things out. Let's clear this thing out here. Let's clear these things out. So yes, guys, so our bars movement on this Gbpjpy also is still to the downside on the short term, but on the long term it will be to the upside and reach this our third touch. It may not be exactly on the same spot, it may be a little bit down on this area or in the same spot, so depending on price. But we expect the price may drop to this area and then go back there. So on a weekly time frame, we expect that price from there, from this coming Monday, we expect the price will drop, come to this area, come to this level, and then go back, to these areas there. So if price doesn't break to the upside, price will then be pushing, to the downside. But this level, this trend has not been broken yet. So, but our first target, it will be within this uptrend. But this trend may be broken and then price come to this level here. So our target as short term, it will be around this area. In the long term, before this monthly target, there, price may decide to come there, or price may decide to play there and then break, shoot back to the upside. So let's go on a daily time frame. So on a daily time frame, as you can see there, on a daily time frame, look at what is happening there. On a daily time frame, we have a first touch around this area, we have a second touch around this area, we have a third touch around this area. We're expecting, so price, there might be a triple top that is forming around this area. Price got rejected there, got rejected in this area, and price is testing for the third time, and you can see it's getting rejected on a daily candle. So we may be having a triple top there and a price drop to the downside. So we are expecting a triple top around that area, then price break back in and then move like that up to this target. So our target, overall target this coming week, it will be at 137.815. So 137.815 within this week. So that is our overall target for this coming week. Price may decide to go a little bit down to 136.12, but our target, overall target, it will be at this area. So we'll just look at what price does after this area at 1.1 at 137.890 areas, somewhere around that area. So from there, price may go back, from this area, price may go back, to these levels. Price may go back to this level and then before probably, dropping again to the downside. So that's our thought process on a daily time frame on Gbpjpy. On the 4-hour time frame, we're expecting something here. Look at how price has been moving to the upside. So price has been moving to the upside within a channel here. So price has been moving within this channel to the upside. So as price broke, pay patterns, we use pattern to, see an overall direction, but we trade, price action, but we look at, also patterns just to be seeing, what price will be then doing. So around this area, we expect price tested, it got rejected, tested second time, got rejected. Now price is testing the third time, is getting rejected. So this area, there may be a triple top. So we are expecting that price may drop, from this area, play around that area, go back, and then come to our target at this area here. So our target at 137, 700 or 137 800. So that's our target around those area there on a weekly, on this coming week. So those are our target on Gbpjpy. So let's go to our Euro USD. So Euro USD, let's go to the monthly time frame. We said that price is broken a little bit out of this downward channel, and the price is broken. We said price might come test to this level, and that's what price is doing. Price is pushing to this levels there on a monthly time frame. Let's go to the weekly time frame. So we said last week on a weekly time frame that around this area we expect that price will drop, and as you can see, the weekly candle price has been pushed to the downside. So there was a pressure there, price dropped. So this is what we have anticipated on a weekly time frame. We said price can do like this and then drop to the downside. So price may consolidate around this area before this drop, and the price form a head and shoulder there, then drop to the downside. Our overall target in the long term, it will be at 1.0700 areas there, but this is a long term. So price, this is what we have explained the price will be doing, and this is still our biasness. But we are not saying that price cannot break above, but as long as price is still remaining below this level at 1.25143, our bias overall target is still to the downside. So this, whatever is happening here, it may be a fake breakout and the price break back in. So let's go to a daily time frame. As you can see, daily time frame, there's 2 days where now these candles have been bearish. So now we're expecting the price will still break out of here and then come to these areas here. So our targets may be around these levels here at 1.20624. So that's our target on Euro USD on the coming week or so, and then price retrace back, and then price probably may play around there and then drop to the downside. So let's take a look at 4-hour time frame on the daily candles. So as you can see, price is still to the downside. Price is broken out of that channel to the downside. So if price doesn't break back in, price we expect it to come back to this area as we have already explained on a daily target. So yes guys, let's take a look at gold. So gold here, let's take a look at monthly targets. Let's take a look at monthly time frame. We said, we showed previously of how this pattern formed, and also how now this current pattern is forming. We said, it may not be candle to candle, but the previous history, it's now showing something similar, which may happen in a long term. Look at how gold break out. People expected that there would be a great rally, but look at how gold dropped to the downside. And we said that gold might come to this level and drop to the downside. This is what gold did last week. It moved and then it dropped back in. But on a monthly target, we still expect on a monthly target that gold, maybe even from here, gold might decide from around these areas here to go to that monthly area where now gold will turn, and then gold begin to go to the downside and reach this area. So that's our expectation. But let's take a look at weekly target, weekly time frame. We say gold may come to this level, to this area, and then that's what gold did last week, and then drop heavily to the downside back inside this channel. So we expect that gold will still play around this channel here, will play around this channel. So let's take a look at this intermediate trend line to the upside. There's an intermediate trend line to the upside. So gold may be playing around this area until this level here. So gold might be playing there until this level, for weeks to come or months to come. So gold may be playing within this channel, and when gold reaches this area here, gold may be pushing to the upside. So here there's a first touch there, second touch there. We anticipate a third touch around this area and gold push to the upside. Then around this area we expect that gold may drop back to the trend line and break it, come to this overall main major trend line before the push continuation to the upside for a long term. So that's our anticipation on gold on weekly and also on a monthly. So as you can take a look on a daily, gold is still this area. We expect on a daily movement, we expect that gold may come a little bit to this area and then go test that level there, then a drop to the downside, forming higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows until this area. Then gold begin to consolidate around this area and then break out and then come to this level as we've anticipated on a monthly, then a big drop to the major trend line that we have drawn on this pen. So that's what we have been looking at on gold. That's what we have been looking at on gold. So those are our thought process on gold, guys. So we have been sharing our thought process on GBP, USD, GBP, JPY, Euro, USD, and gold. So that's our thought process on gold. So awesome, guys. Till we meet on our next analysis, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Awesome, guys. Till we meet then. Awesome.